It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
Will you look back when you're old and grey and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
Hi, welcome.
It's Thursday night. You can still say it, even though the scientist said it. Gladwell. We've got something exclusive coming up on Saturday. I'm just going to plug that quickly. We're vlogging Alton Towers again. I can guarantee you, in our vlog, there's going to be something that's not going to be in anyone else's vlog from anything at Alton Towers. I can guarantee that. But before I bring our guest on, what's it time for?
Time for Joke of the Week.
What do Mexicans put under their carpet? Underlay, underlay!
That was Matt from Breaking Trails. His link's in the description. And we have got another joke-related segment later on in the show to look forward to that. But without any more delays, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got everyone.
We're going to bring on,
comments.
I guess, Chris, Coaster Dad. How you doing? Yeah, I'm good, yeah. So the main thing we're going to be talking about today is your big theme park road trip.
Yeah.
So I thought we could just go day by day.
Okay.
And talk through it. But for everyone at home who's not seen it, what are you doing? I'll put the links in the description. But it's about 2.5 minutes long. I've got a bit of highlights from your road trip so people can have a bit of a look at what you got up to.
Starting here at Flamingo Land. This park has some cracking rides, some questionable ones as well. And I hear there's some stuff changed for 2023. So Fantasy Island, new park for me, never been. I've just been told that Odyssey, the yellow one, is shut. That's one less thing I can get on, I guess. Today, Legoland Windsor. You know how the Lego movie says everything is awesome? Well, last time I was here, the one and only time I was here, the ride operations were absolutely terrible. And it was a really busy day. Today, second visit, I missed a lot of credits the last time I was here. I didn't do Saw, I didn't do Samurai, I didn't do Colossus, I didn't do Stealth. Welcome to day 6 of my 7-day trip around the UK, visiting various theme parks. Today, Drayton Manor, second last day. I've been here in a while, come all the way down to London, and there's my home castle. And a ScotRail train. I wonder if it's late. They usually are. On the Vekoma Madhouse, they got Theme in there, cracking pre-show, which was really good. It was a little bit too dark in terms of actual lighting, not as in theming. We went to Burger King for lunch, which I was going to say is organised chaos, but I think it's just chaos. And it wasn't even that busy, but so disorganised. And then finished the day on the big one, which was running really well. Back row, we kind of got a massive amount of ejector at the top. It's been an interesting day. I mean, I'm here a lot, so I don't need to do a lot when I'm here. I can go on a couple of rides and still enjoy myself. If I was to compare this to the rest of the parks this week, I would have been disappointed. I've not gotten a huge amount. It's been a really mixed bag. Flamingo Land was great, Fantasy Island was terrible, Legoland was Thorpe Park was fantastic, Chessington was pretty bad, Drayton Manor was good, and today I enjoyed myself, but again, if I was comparing it with the rest, probably not. I also had absolutely terrible timing. I went to Chessington and Jumanji opens in 4 weeks. I went to Thorpe Park and Ghost Train opens soon. I went to Drayton Manor and Maelstrom was shut. I went to Blackpool and Valhalla has been delayed. So
it sounded like it was going to be a good trip, and then at the end,
yeah, not very good timing, unfortunately.
So, before I talk about that, actually, how did you start what made you start your channel?
That's a good question. I've been a coaster enthusiast for a while. As the clue in the channel name, I have 3 kids, and I've used them as an excuse to go to theme parks for quite some time. And last year, I took them to America. We did the Disney parks, Universal, Busch Gardens, we went to Germany to Phantasialand, and a couple of friends said, "Why don't you start a YouTube channel?" And I thought, why don't I start a YouTube channel? So I spent months learning how to do video editing and filming and titles and thumbnails and SEO, and I thought I just need to try this. So I just got stuck in January, and yeah, the last couple of months have been fun.
So how did the road trip come about? Because obviously you live
miles away
up in Edinburgh, so you had to plan it all out.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, in January we went to Efteling. I'd never been there. That was great. February I went to Plopsaland on my own because I wanted to do Ride to Happiness. March we did the opening weekend for Blackpool and Alton Towers, and then I had a week off in April, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I initially thought I'm going to go to Poland. I'll do Energylandia. I really want to go there. Still never been, and I've got a colleague that lives out there, and he said they're only open Saturday and Sunday that week, so that was scrapped. Surprisingly, not many parks in Europe that are open in April. And I thought, well, the UK parks are open, so why don't I just jump in the car and drive all the way around England? And so that's exactly what I did.
Awesome.
Was there a reason?
Sorry.
It's completely your own choice, but was there a reason you left out Alton Towers?
I'd been to Alton Towers on opening weekend. And the idea was, so obviously coming from Scotland, I went to Flamingo Land on the way down, stayed in York, went to Skegness for Fantasy Island, down, stayed near Heathrow, did all the parks there. And then it was like, how do I break the trip back on the way home? And my daughter really wanted to go to Alton Towers because her boyfriend was with us and he'd never been. And I was like, well, we've just been, so I kind of want some more content for the channel. Let's do Drayton Manor and Blackpool on the way back up. So yeah, it wasn't, I don't want to do Alton Towers, because I do. It was just another park that I'd not been to, basically.
So just because you call it your home parks, it's the closest. How far is Blackpool Pleasure Beach from you if you went direct?
200 miles, so it's a 3.5-hour drive.
Oh, so still.
Yeah, a couple of hours, yeah.
So it's, yeah, I mean, and I've done it many times on a day trip, but it's a long day trip when it's 7 hours of driving.
How much further is Flamingo Land, or is that closer?
Pretty much, it's maybe an extra half an hour. It's kind of just roughly the same, just on the East Coast. So, yeah, there's nothing in Scotland. Is I mean, there's M&Ds.
M&Ds.
Yeah, let's not count that one, shall we? And then is there Cadona's up in Dundee? I've never been there either, but yeah, there's loads of traveling, like fun fairs, but there's not really a park up here, unfortunately.
So if we go through the parks, I think I put them in the right order at the top. I want to start at Flamingo Land. Tell us about the operations and what it was like there on the day you went.
I can't compliment Flamingo Land enough, actually. I've been there 3 times now, and I think I've lucked out every single time because it's always been really quiet. And from the comments on that vlog, that's not normally the case. So I've obviously
What day of the week was it? What day of the week was the first? Was it a Monday or?
It was Saturday, the 1st of April that I went. And the park were great. I mean, I'd reached out to all the parks beforehand to see if I was allowed to film on ride. They were the only park that got back and said, yes, no problem, just come and let us see your equipment.
Does Fantasy Island not get back to you?
No. Well, actually, no, that's not strictly true. Fantasy Island was very last minute. I didn't book it till the day before. And I asked at the ticket office, can you film? And they went, yeah, no problem. So I'm sitting there on, was it Toucan Tours? With like the GoPro.
Yeah.
Ages. And then I went round, and when I got back, I got told off. You're not allowed to film without a pass. And I was like, well, the ride ops saw me for the last 5 minutes sitting here like this. So anyway, so Flamingo Land, so the ride ops were great. I mean, it was quiet, so it was literally walk on everything. Yeah, it was just really good. Didn't go anywhere near Hero for obvious reasons. When you
were vlogging near it, I saw that you went way over near this fence. Like, no, I'm not going anywhere near that. It's scarred me too much.
Nope, done it. Nope, just but no, it was really good. I quite enjoyed that, and as you would have seen in the vlog, it was kind of like, it felt like 2 different experiences, because that the zoo side that they've got was just so peaceful, and it was just nice to see all those animals. So yeah, it was a really nice start to the trip, to be honest. The next day, not so much, because got down to Fantasy Island, which I've never been to.
Did you have a rough idea of what it was going to be like?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd kind of looked at it and I was like, okay, so they got a few rides, and obviously saw that they had Odyssey and Millennium. And when I got there, the guy said, oh, Odyssey's shut today. And I didn't click, that's their SLC. And then also no idea where I was going. So I turned the corner and I'm like, I'm in a flea market. What on earth is going on
Yeah,
here? Like,
that's exactly the first time I went. I thought,
like, I can't find where's all the rides. And then of course you walk indoors and it's like Coral Island, and I was like, well, this is just weird. But I've had a lot of feedback that it's usually quite good, so I think I maybe need to give it a second chance. But
is that just from people who work there?
Well,
usually quite good.
That's it. Yeah.
See, I'm kind of used to it because I remember from quite a young age, my mum would used to go take me shopping around the marketplace. But the weirdest thing is I've never been on the roller coasters there. It's like,
if you step back from like my or Chris's point of view.
But now when you
if we're going for the theme park
rides,
and we go, right, we're going to a theme park, and then it's just like this flea market. And I remember when I went, kids were throwing firecrackers at the floor, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
they're popping things, yeah.
And then I saw, so obviously Odyssey was shut when I was there, but I saw recently somebody posted pictures that it had got stuck on the one of the inversions. Like literally the thing just stopped halfway around, and I was like, great, you're going to get a crane and pull that back down. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
What, and they did they or not? Did they while you were there?
Well, thankfully, no, it wasn't when I was there, and thankfully it was an empty train that were sending around, but it clearly has a few issues.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I heard about it through like Facebook and other groups as well. So
are you allowed to? Well, I suppose it's up to you if you're allowed to. Do you want to tell us anything about Guardian? Whenever I speak to people on the show before, they're like, well, we promised we wouldn't speak about it and all this. And I was like, okay.
It's a weird ride. Have you ever done it?
No.
So, I mean, I suppose conceptually, it's like a junior version.
Is it like the one at Mythica?
It's like a junior version of that, but the motion doesn't go with the video as well. And you're on, it's really weird. You're on this, it's like an arm similar to like Harry Potter's ride in Universal. So you get strapped in, and then immediately you get tipped up onto your back, and then they spin you around and then flip you down the other side. Because I'm thinking, why have I got over-shoulder restraints for what is effectively a flying cinema? So that was the first ride I went on as well. So I was like, well, this place is definitely a little strange. But
did you get the Jellykins credit?
Don't think so.
Did that cross your mind?
No.
I can't remember if we showed photos of it, but I know Ginger and Brown, they each went on it. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's a kiddie coaster, but it's cars have roofs on, so you really have to squash in to actually ride that thing.
Yeah, well, there's two credits. There was that credit, and then they had a standard wacky worm kind of effort outside. And I was like, yeah, I'm not that desperate for credits. I'll give those a miss, thanks.
Oh, really? I thought you were after that because you mentioned the credits in some of your vlogs.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I'm still. I think on this trip I hit my 100th coaster. I don't know which one was my 100th though. Probably something on Thorpe Park. But yeah, I think I can skip kiddie coasters. So after Fantasy Island, what was the next one? Legoland.
Legoland,
again, been there a couple of times. Contrast to Flamingo Land, I think I've picked terrible times to go to Legoland because it's always been really busy, and it's not a park that deals well when it's under pressure. The operations just weren't great. They've got loads of nice rides, and I think if it's a quiet day, it'd be a great park to visit. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was there in the Easter break, right? So it was full of school kids.
Oh,
not the wisest move on my part. But yeah, it was what it was.
Would you say? I always say this when it comes up. I think Legoland is the closest thing, theming wise, we've got to a Disney in this country. Would you agree with that?
That's an interesting one. Well, so possibly. I mean, one of the parks later on, I wouldn't put it in the same bracket as Disney, but a park that definitely does a lot of theming is Drayton Manor. I mean, they're new areas at least. They're stepping their game up quite a bit.
Yes.
And I'm curious about Alton Towers as well. Like obviously all the stuff they're doing with Nemesis right now, I think they're starting up their game on the theming as well. So, but yeah, I don't think we really have anything in this country that's that at the Disney level. But so, and then what did I do after that? The next day, I think my daughter joined me. Thorpe Park. That was probably the highlight for me.
Hang on, hold the phone. Ginger and Brown are a sec. I just want to say they're the people that rode Jellykins. So if they want to comment on how how painful that was. We've literally just talked about you two riding Jellykins at Fantasy Island.
Also, anyone in the comments, hello, welcome for joining as well. Don't forget to give this a like, but you are quite welcome to put questions on in the comments as well. So just letting you know, you can like discuss and ask questions.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there. Thought Park. It was funny because when you were thinking about what park you'd done next, you were looking up, and on the screen it looked like you were looking at the Thorpe Park.
Like, yeah. I didn't realize you had them in order. Stupid me, I'm looking. Anyway, Thorpe Park was definitely the highlight. I mean, obviously it's the most thrilling park out of all the ones I went to, and we'd skipped a load of credits when we went 2 years ago, I think it was. Yeah. So I hadn't done stealth because it scared the bejeebus out of me.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, well,
the big one.
Yeah, well, see, this was where my logic when I went back was, I've done Rita, so I've done a launch, and I've done the big one, which is taller. So logically, I can put the two together and do stealth, right? And it's funny because we did stealth, and then when we were standing in the queue, my daughter was like, "Dad, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?" And then as soon as it finished, I turned around to her boyfriend and went, "Right, we're going back round again." And she just stood and watched us, and we just lapped the thing. So, yeah, it was great. We hadn't done Saw before. Hadn't done Nemesis, hadn't done Stealth. Colossus, twice I've been there and twice it's not been operational, so I've still not done that.
I'm hoping the trains change as well.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. I wanted to compare it to Sick because obviously it's almost the same track, and one's over shoulder and one is lap bar. But I didn't get on it, so I don't know. And I didn't get on Walking Dead. That was shot as well, so that's still one credit I've not done.
Are you a fan of the TV show?
I watched bits of it. I wouldn't say I didn't get really into it and see all of it. Certainly didn't watch the newer seasons, but I saw the start of it. That was my daughter who was with me. She's not a huge fan of kind of like Fright Nights and scare stuff. So we used to always go to Alton Towers in October, the October break, and of course that's when they're doing their scare fest. And we went on a scare maze, and yeah, she would never do it again. So that ride, she was never coming on with me anyway. So, but I would have went on it on my own if it had been open. So,
update: Jellykins, smooth, fun little coaster, but murder to get in and out of as an adult. I'm sure Ginger and Brown have got photos on their socials. I'm sure they took a photo of Dan getting in it.
I can't help but think when Knox Survives goes in that little train that we went on at Hamilton.
Oh, the zoo, yeah. It said maximum weight 250 kilos, and I turned to both of you and went, "Well, I weigh about 90, so this isn't going to end well."
There's tons of coasters. It's the same as oh
no, this wasn't a coaster. This was a land train and one of the carriages. And everyone was looking as it went round. I knew that the wheels were probably flat.
Yeah, we're all like this going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and this is why I don't just go for the credits, because that's when everyone looks at you and go, "Why is that grown man on his own in a kiddie coaster?" No thanks. If I had the kids with me, maybe I could get away with it, but when I'm on my own, yeah.
Talking about credits, I've only just thought about this. You part of any clubs or?
Not currently, no.
Might have to join ECC or something.
Yeah.
I'm part of ECC, but one of the people who runs it went to Ace. And now I'm tempted when my membership runs out to go to Ace, but I don't know yet. Because Ace are doing a UK trip next year because they're American coaster enthusiasts, but there's a European division. They're doing UK parks all next year, so it might be worth joining them.
Do you know what? I keep thinking on joining, like, well, I suppose it's now your experience guide, right? They do their trips, and I think the America trips particularly, I really want to go on one of those and just, go around all the parks. So maybe, I think they're doing one next year, so I'll see how that ties with holidays and stuff and maybe go. But
worth looking into.
He's got a video of him with his head pressed against the roof of the coaster. It looks a bit like the bus out of SpongeBob SquarePants. If I had to describe to people who don't know what Jellykins is, it's like a very compact vehicle that looks like the bus out of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And it's only one. Yeah, I remember actually because Paris said they're saying it's only one adult at a time, but I remember she said there were kids in the queue that said, "I want to sit at the front." And then she was like, "Well, you can't because I'm the only adult. I have to go in the front."
I have to go in the front. Genius.
Oh, yeah, Loops and Donuts. George is a part of Experience Guide. So good,
there you go. I've shouted them out a few times in my videos, actually, because where was it? When I was in Plopsaland, obviously when Scott and that go to Blackpool, they do the Pleasure Beach Express after lunch.
Yeah.
And Plopsaland had a Plopsaland Express, so I did that, and I shouted them out and said, "Got that idea from them, and I'm doing it here." So, yeah. And actually seen Scott many times. In fact, I'm sure we'll get onto it later. Valhalla, Scott was in front of me and he got on it. Lucky sod. So
Legoland was poor operations, but if we go on to the next day, it's Chessington, which was worse? Chessington was quite a bad day, wasn't it, when you went there?
Yeah, again, I think I picked a really bad week. And it's another park that's aimed more at the family, so there was tons of kids around. Dragon's Fury, I did not get on. It was sitting at 2 hours all day, and then it broke down, and then a queue started to form because people thought it was going again and it was running, and then at 3 minutes to 6 they went, yeah, we're not opening this again.
When you say queue formed, was the queue line open?
No, see, this was the thing, right?
So they started at the
staff had said, we don't know if this is opening, please don't stand here. We don't know if this is opening, please don't stand there. And obviously some people ignored that and a queue started to form. So of course, as soon as you see a queue, what's the British thing to do? You join the back of the queue, right? And then you just get told, well, we told you not to. So that wasn't great. And Rattlesnake, what are they doing with Rattlesnake? That is just...
It's not on FastPass, is it?
No, it is, and that's the problem.
Oh, it is, okay.
From what I saw, if there's somebody in the FastPass queue, they just walk straight on. It's not like they do one FastPass, one general queue, one FastPass, one general queue. So until they clear FastPass, the normal queue doesn't even move. So you're just standing there for ages. It's just a bizarre way of doing it.
I'm just going to interrupt the chat. We are going to talk about Nemesis later on. We've got some of Alton Towers pictures. That is coming up. That's the hook.
Soon.
I'm just saying about the FastPass because Ben and Holly's Theme Park Ventures, they went. I don't know if they had a different type of FastPass, but the pass they had, there's something about Rattlesnake wasn't included or something like that.
It was weird because Rattlesnake was shut all day, and I think they opened it at 3:00 and the park shut at 6. So I mean, it was only open for a couple of hours and immediately got a queue, and it just didn't move. So yeah, I wasn't impressed with their operations either, to be honest.
I'm not sure. Jumanji, you missed out on Jumanji as well.
Yeah, I mean, I booked this whole trip beforehand, and as I said, obviously Odyssey was shut at the time I was there. Ghost Train hadn't opened yet.
Jumanji. How far ahead did you book it? Or did you plan it?
A little over a month.
Oh, so you kind of had an idea Jumanji wouldn't be open.
Jumanji had been announced at that point. Obviously, Thorpe Park with Ghost Train, they just said spring, which could be any time, right? So it could have theoretically opened. Didn't know that Colossus was not going to be open in time. Valhalla, Valhalla, yes. Maelstrom was not running the day I was there. It was just literally it was just comedy.
Okay, so FastPass only the ultimate one works on the Rattlesnake.
Right.
So from that, I would, if I didn't know Chester, I'd gather Rattlesnake as the flagship coaster, but
oh no.
It's most powerful. Well, yeah, powerful. It's the most painful brake run in the UK.
Yeah, it should be called Bone Shaker tomorrow.
I've been on the one at Pleasurewood Hills, and the brake run doesn't seem as painful as that. Same ride, but it's just mirrored.
It's a torture chamber. And so many people were giving up in the queue because it is kind of like, is it worth spending 75 minutes in a queue just to go on Rattlesnake? Probably not. But it is what it is. So after that, we headed up to Drayton Manor, which I was actually really good that day. It was just a nice balance of, there was enough people for an atmosphere, but the queues weren't massive. As I say, Maelstrom was shut the day I was there, which was a little disappointing because I really wanted to get back on that.
That's our favourite.
Yeah,
we both enjoy that one.
Yeah, and a brave again.
What do you think of that zoo compared to, say, Flamingo Land and Chessington?
I think their zoo's pretty good. I would say Chessington, either I missed some of it or it's got the worst out of the three that you just mentioned.
Oh, really?
It just didn't seem a huge amount in it. And to the point that I was like, did I miss some of this? Because it seemed to only have a handful of things. I didn't go into there's an aquarium, but I think I didn't go in there.
Yeah.
Flamingo Lands was great. And yeah, Drayton Manors was pretty good as well, to be honest. Obviously, all the parrots that talk to you. So that was fun. But yeah, went back on Shockwave. I know there's some people who think that's a fantastic ride. Yeah, not me.
I don't know if people think it was that fantastic if it wasn't for its unique stand-up element.
I think this is the thing, and it's interesting because I hear it used to, I suppose like a lot of coasters used to have two trains. Like if they did one standing, one sitting, or if half the train was standing, half was sitting, you could I think it would be all right if you were sitting down, personally. But I know a lot of people, that whole standing thing is the unique element, right? So they're not going to take it away in a hurry.
I feel like they could have added to the layout because it hits the brake run so fast. There's so much speed going into that brake run.
Yeah. But I mean, that's its USP, isn't it? That it's like, is it the only standing one in the UK?
The brakes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I know there's plenty rides in the UK that do that. But yeah, that was a good day in Drayton Manor. Obviously annoyed that Maelstrom wasn't running, which was obviously one of the main things we wanted to do.
Do you think the Drayton Manor annual pass? I don't know if it's the platinum one or the gold one does it as well, but one of them lets you into West Midlands Safari Park as well. Do you think that's worth the price? I think it's about 180, 190, isn't it? Something like that.
I don't know if I've been to West Midlands Safari Park. So I don't know. It's a funny one. I just got Blackpool season pass this year. I've had one the last 3 years, and I thought I'm not going to get it this year because I'm going to do lots of other parks. And I've already been 3 times this year, and I thought, well, I would have made my money back already, so just get one. And they obviously do the thing where you get, the 4 or 5 parks in Europe included.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a really good deal. Granted, I've never used it, but I think this year I'm going to try and get to places like Liseberg and stuff and get a free day in the park. And then obviously you've got your Merlin Pass, which just gets you access to a ton of stuff, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I guess.
So look for bargains. When's the next bit for you to get on the
So what about Pleasure Beach then? Your final day. How tired were you by then?
Actually, I was kind of still running on fumes at that point. So it wasn't until I got home and then I was like, yeah, okay, now I'm exhausted. Now it's caught up on me. But I had booked Blackpool before the season launch, and then they said Valhalla's opening after the 7th, and I think everybody jumped on, that means it opens on the 7th, right? And I realized, wait, I'm going to be there on Friday the 7th. Happy days. And then on the Thursday, they went, yeah, moved it to the 12th. And I was like, great. So we didn't get on very much. But as I said, because I'm there all the time, I still have fun in that park. But if I was to treat it fairly against the other parks, I wouldn't have been impressed. It was definitely not, do everything in a day.
What would be the top 3 from what you experienced on that week? What would your top 3 be from your 7 days?
Thorpe Park clearly is the number one, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'd say Flamingo Land and Drayton Manor were the other 2 that I struggle to fault. I mean, I can fault Drayton Manor for not having Maelstrom, but the rest.
You can fault Flamingo Land for having Hero.
Well, yeah, okay, but
Are you more theming than frills then as well?
It's coming up again, that conversation.
I know, I can't help it.
No, it's one of those things. There's so many rides that don't have theming in the UK, and it doesn't bother me. It definitely does add to it though when you get that whole package, when you've got a soundtrack and you've got the theming and you've got, like, one of my favorite coasters so far is Taron in Phantasialand, and that is just, the whole area, the soundtrack, everything, it's just non-stop.
It looks really epic. Like, I've seen some of the
is that your number
Ginger
one?
and Brown have got, and it just looks amazing. But I've not been on it yet.
No, I struggle to kind of rate them. So the ones that would be, I can give you a top 5. Can I give you a top 5?
Nemesis Reborn.
Well, maybe. Nemesis probably yes, because it's kind of sentimental for me. It was one of the first rides. I went on it in the late 90s, so it must have been reasonably new. And I got to the end and I got in the station and I thought, I'm not doing this. And I just walked straight through it. And just as they were about to put the restraints down, I thought, I've stood in the queue for over an hour. I'm going to try it. And that was my first proper coaster. So Nemesis is somewhere in there, definitely. Velocicoaster, Guardians of the Galaxy, Taron, and probably Icon, actually. That would be my current top 5.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what order.
What did you think about Sick? Because the amount of people I heard say, this is my new number 1 now, and I'm thinking, it doesn't really beat Nemesis, does it?
No, listen, it's a really good coaster, and I think it's a great addition to the park for sure. And it's smooth, it is really smooth. But it's not in my top 5, so yeah. But it's good though. It's definitely. I went on it multiple times when I was there. The one thing, I don't think I mentioned this in the video. The first time I went on it. When you get to the top of that lift hill, it shoots you up the lift hill quite fast. The first time I was on it, I heard this kind of ching, 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 and it sounded like something fell off and was rolling down the train.
Oh.
And I've heard it every single time I've gone on since. It must be the chain detaching from the bottom of the train.
Yeah.
But I basically went around that first ride holding on for like thinking there's something loose on this ride. I'm going to fall out. I'm going to fall out. So if you're on that ride, that's what it is.
Yeah, Ginger and Brown. I thought that might be the case. Everyone said number one was on the press list. Yeah. Apparently, they've already got rid of the barbershop.
Yes. Yeah, that seemed to be a very
that was
short-term gimmick.
Did anyone actually use it, do you think? I've not checked. There might be a blog out there.
Clearly, I don't need to, so it wouldn't have been any use to me. But
do you want? I've got 2 quizzes for you.
Okay.
People at home can help out if they want. The first one, I've taken letters from rides that were from the parks that you came to on your road trip.
Yeah, I saw you did this last week. Yeah, okay.
So people in the chat can help as well.
See how well I do. Okay, well, C's easy because that's Icon.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows his stuff.
O is Shockwave.
Oh, he's got it.
It's
a steamrolling these.
Right, R's Rita. No, it's not. R's Hero.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm struggling with the rest of these. What else we got? Last week's were easier. This is tricky.
These are all rides that have the parks you've been to.
Oh, great! Rub it in, right? So,
I'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, people can put it in the comments as well. You're all welcome to join in as well.
They know the ones that you've already got.
Yeah. Thanks for repeating those ones. That's good. Parks that I was already at. So what rides we got then?
So obviously the places that Coaster Dad been to is Flamingo Land, Drayton
that
Manor.
That S isn't stealth, is it?
No.
No, I didn't.
How much are you struggling? I'll give you a bit of a clue.
So the first D, is that from Drayton Manor? Is that in the Vikings area? By any chance? Jormungandr?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, there's another one.
Coasting with the Joneses has put another one on. Is S?
Swarm.
No. S is from, well, if I tell you where it's from, you'll get it straight away, but it's from Blackpool.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's embarrassing since I say that's my home park. S is from Blackpool.
No, the T is not Nick Streak. I'll tell you what, to speed this up a bit. Right, you haven't got A. A is Chessington. S is Blackpool.
Is A Vampire then?
No. T is Legoland. E is Chessington. A is Thorpe Park, and the last D is Legoland.
Okay, so A being Thorpe Park must be Walking Dead, is it?
No, A is well, the last day. No, it's not Walking Dead, but yeah, the second day is Thorpe Park.
Okay, the T from Legoland, is that the Vekoma Madhouse, the haunted house party?
Monster Party.
Coasting with the Joneses put A, Dragon's Fury.
Yeah, Coasting with the Joneses got it. Dragon's Fury.
Well, guys, keep reeling it into the comments if you can guess what they are. Don't worry.
You're still after the S, aren't you?
Yeah, well, Blackpool. It's not. I know last week you did the big one and you turned it round.
I've not inverted any of these. These are just I've just like cut round them.
Thank you for joining us in
NF
attractions as well. If you want to guess what the rides are based on the letters in the
I think we need S E
comment
A
away.
D. The S, the E, the A, and the D at the end.
I'm going round. So Revolution's not got any S's in it. It's definitely not the big one.
T is Monster House.
S.
I've got the drink. Sorry, my voice is going again today.
Alice. Oh, you've really seen that Blackpool.
Want a bit more of a clue?
Yeah.
For S, think of water.
Oh, hey, Kelly.
Think of
Kelly's here.
Hey, Kelly. So good to see you.
No, that's a good guess though for the E. The E's not smart. I'm hoping that the ride from Blackpool is still actually there. It's underneath the big one.
Underneath the big one. So that's Infusion. Is that the S from Infusion?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's another.
Might be more than one type of logo for that. So the E is from Chessington, and the A is Thorpe, and the last D is Legoland.
Oh, Luke's and Donuts. There's some more coming.
Straight away, Joss knows his stuff.
Yay,
See if it's
Joss.
Christopher Jones's.
The
The E is Chessington. You should get that
Good
easy.
to see you, Joss, in the chat too.
I'm now struggling to remember what's in Chessington. It's not Croc Drop. It's not. Drags
Oh,
from
is it what I think?
Fury.
Yeah, it used to be their signature ride. I'm sure.
He's vampire.
Used to be
Vampire, yeah.
Oh, Cozy with the
Oh.
Joneses got E for vampire.
See,
So
and I
the
thought
A,
that
the A is from Thorpe, and the
Oh,
last
wow.
D is from Legoland.
was Legoland.
I don't think this would take this long.
No, this is quite good.
I don't know if people are enjoying
I don't
it.
know if you guys are enjoying it, but this
It is
is
from
really
Thorpe.
interesting.
It's
For
not
the A, think of Lost Sea.
think of
Drinks and donuts.
Lost City. I'm trying to think of what. Oh, you've
It's
stumped
that
me.
area, isn't it?
So which ones are we after now?
The A and the
The
D at
last
the end.
two, A and D.
Oof.
I'm thinking that.
The D is a fairly new one at Legoland.
Is it that one with the the sort of hex ride? Haunted house. I know we've already had
No,
that.
that's the T, wasn't it? New at Legoland recently.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Joneses have got it. Duplo
Ah,
coaster.
Ah,
Has anyone got the A?
Ace from
It's what it's one of those flat rides near the dome.
Oh,
That's like Lost City, that bit.
Jesus. There's the flying carpet thing. There's the
Yeah. What's the flying carpet called?
Oh, I didn't go on it. What was it called?
Canada Creek.
No, it's not Canada Creek. It's the flying carpet ride. Do
The flying carpet ride.
you remember what it was called?
Nope.
It begins with Q.
Oh, Quantum.
Quantum.
Yeah.
I can't help but think Quantum Leap. With the tunes going off in my head.
There we go. That's where they all came from. So is that Infusion logo old then?
No, now that I see the Infusion logo, yes. Okay, fair enough. I'm just useless apparently. So, no, they were good.
All right,
Really got your
now
brain.
for round two.
Oh,
Oh,
We've got some
Right.
kind of emoji style things, and these are all again rides from parks.
Two's easy. That's Croc Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person Drill.
Number one's
Fire?
Mandrill, isn't it? Mandrill Mayhem.
Mandrill Mayhem.
Yeah.
I searched Mayhem, and that was one of the emoji things that came up. So it's far in the background.
Dancing and going fast. So
Kind of dance. The kind of
salsa,
dance.
tango.
What do you call it when you go fast?
Run. Sprint.
No?
Kick yourself. Think Thorpe Park.
Think Thorpe Park. I mean,
Oh, hang on a minute. So, Trekking Tailors have put 5 Stormforce. Coasted with the Joneses, same as me. Well done. Thank you for joining us, Ginger and Brown, though. So,
so 6 isn't Steeplechase, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nice. 7.
6 Steeplechase.
Got Stormforce. I'm sure it was Stormforce. Hey, Rands is here. You missed the first quiz, Rands, but these are just ride names emojis. You still on 3?
3, yeah, 3, 4.
It works really well. You're going to kick yourself.
Yeah, so you're saying it's in Thorpe Park. Thorpe Park.
Yeah. Think water ride.
Think water rides. Oh,
Yeah.
There's the boat that was shut every time I've been. Oh, what's that? That just reopened recently. What was that called? I don't even have my phone to me. I can't even Google these.
Taru.
So it's something run, right?
No, it's some. What is it when you move fast?
It's a boat. No.
Rapids.
Yeah.
What's
it called at Thorpe?
Roomba Rapids?
Yeah, Rumble Rapids. Yeah.
Oh.
Yay. 4. That's not just like
Just say what you see there.
a bike.
Yeah.
Bike.
There's a park you've been to that has a ride with.
Well, it's not velocity, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Velocity. We said
Yay.
shockwave. We said steeplechase, and then up cloud push. I don't know what that ride's called.
We'll go through these. Got that. The last one, I kind of had to come up with find emoji things.
Is this a park?
What's the first emoji, like the first picture you've got there?
Oh.
It's like an up arrow.
What color is the arrow?
Red.
Yep.
Red
arrow.
Red arrow force. Red arrow.
Skyforce.
Yes. Oh, that Blackpool ride that I cannot make myself go upside down. Yes, that's the one.
Oh, you've tried?
Oh, many times. And you see some people who effortlessly are just going round and round and round, and I'm sitting there like an idiot, rocking back and forward like this, not getting anywhere.
So hopefully that was fun. I felt that the emoji quiz wasn't as fun as the first one, but I've got another segment because, well, you're not referred to as the Coaster Dad, but you're Coaster Dad. Mm-hmm. So I've got some other people from other YouTube channels to send me in videos of them telling their best dad jokes. I call it Totes Dad Jokes. I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm going to play the videos one by one, and then you're going to decide which you think, and people can comment if they want, is the best dad joke. So first we've got George from Loops and Donuts 2023. All the links are in the description for these channels, by the way, and their Instagrams, but I'll play the first one.
I was standing at a bus stop and I felt a tap on my shoulder. I thought, that's strange. Taps are usually on sinks.
I think I was laughing more at the joke or your reaction to it.
Do you know what's worrying? It's the kind of thing I would say, so I can't really criticise it.
Right, we'll go on to number 2. This is Andy from Ghost from the Joneses. If anyone at home has got comments on these jokes as we're bringing them to you, feel free to type in the live chat. This is Andy with his dad joke.
The guy that invented predictive text died last night. It's funfair as next monkey.
I've not played the third one yet, but are you leaning more to one than the other at the moment?
No, they're both as terrible as each other. So let's see if the third one breaks the tie.
Right, the third one is a second one that Matt from Breaking Trails sent me. So, go.
Did you know you can't be an airline pilot if your name is Jack? Because you walk onto the plane and everyone says, "Hi, Jack."
I like the little laugh you did at the end.
Saw that one coming. Have I got to pick a best?
What one do you think is the best dad joke? Because you're Coaster Dad.
What is the totes dad joke?
Well,
I don't know if anyone at home. Hang on, someone's come up in the comments.
The middle one by Coasting with Joneses, I'm sure I've told a very similar one.
Oh, have they stolen your joke? Have they?
No, it just means I've got that kind of terrible sense of humor. So I guess I've got to give him props and say that's the number one.
Oh, so the number one dad joke this week.
There you go.
Andy, let's play it again.
The guy that invented predictive text died last night. It's funfair as next monkey.
But I'll put all the links in the description, and I appreciate them all sending them in. I know I'm seeing Andy at Towers on Saturday, so he'll be very happy that he said the best dad joke.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I didn't see them there, but when I did eventually get on Valhalla, the next day they posted. So I think they were there in front of me and managed to get on it, even though I kind of didn't. It was funny when I was in the queue for Valhalla, just seeing everybody going, he's got a YouTube channel, he's got a YouTube channel, he's got a YouTube. Yeah. It was just literally full of enthusiasts and everybody with their cameras out. So, but
he's not. He doesn't think he's got a terrible sense of humor.
If it makes you feel any better, you know that you're in good company because I'm exactly the same.
I know people are going to want to talk about Nemesis, but I have got this thing I tried last week. I don't know if it ended up being funny because it sort of got a bit morbid. But we've got before we talk about Nemesis, we've got Roller Coaster Rewind. So I'm going to give you 3 headlines, and each one's got a little fact behind it.
Okay.
I'll just load the facts up. So I've got them here. But I'll.
It's a magical night.
You've got first for a second. White Knuckle Rides or The World of Tomorrow yesterday? Are any of them appealing to you, or are you?
Well, yeah, first for a second, because I think presumably some ride was like, oh yeah, we're the world's tallest or the first this, and then 5 minutes later another park went, ta-da, we beat you to it. So let's go with that one first for a second.
As for a sec, this is actually a fact I know, and I've known since 2008. But
Okay.
Well, hey, Hush Hush family as well. Thank you for joining.
yeah, Rand, we're going to talk about Nemesis. We're getting all this humor out the way, and then we're going to talk about Nemesis.
Is it humor? Is it?
It was humorous, wasn't it? The dad jokes.
I mean,
right.
Kind of humor.
Have you been on the Vekoma Boomerang before?
Yeah. Well, I've been on boomerangs. Vekoma ones. So, Ben 10 at Drake Manor, what kind of boomerang is that? Is that a Vekoma or is that a different one?
I'm not sure, actually. I just meant the standard one with the Cobra roll and the loop.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't been on one of those ones.
Because I found out this fact when I went to Bellewaerde in Belgium. The first, I've got the actual facts about the other park as well, because I've not been to Mexico. But the first Vekoma Boomerang that was built, I knew went to Mexico. Went to, I can't pronounce that park name, but it's there. Rafaela Padilla in Pueblo, Mexico, which was the first to be manufactured, but it got delayed. So the first one to open was actually the second one ever made, which was I don't know if it's still operational. It was Bellewaerde in Belgium.
Right.
So I've known that since I went on the one in Belgium because someone told me about it. But I actually learned the facts about the Mexico bit. But for anyone at home, the first old school Vekoma Boomerang that was built was actually not the first one to open because it got delayed. So first for a second, it was the first one to be made.
That seems to happen a lot because if I'm not mistaken, Sick at Flamingo Land, is it not been to like 3 parks, but that's the first time it's actually been constructed? Like it kept getting
it's actually been moved and not built.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least one other park, if not 2, before it. That's why it was a totally different color scheme when it turned up, and then they painted it.
Ooh.
Is Deja Vu it probably isn't. Is Deja Vu an inverted one? It probably isn't, is it? I'm sure there is a Deja Vu. I'm sure the inverted one in Madrid that used to be there is called Deja Vu as well, but I'm not sure. But without further ado, everyone wants to talk about Nemesis, so we're going to sort this out.
And for those people that have gone, Ginger and Brown, obviously, that were asking as well, bless them, you can always replay this. Don't worry, it's fine. So, hi again, if you're just rewatching this. Nemesis retrack. Oh my gosh, look at it.
These are photos, as far as I'm aware, from a legal standpoint. I'm sure they're all Alton Tower's own photos, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Hush Hush family. Oh my gosh.
I don't think they'll mind us helping with the hype.
So, where do you want to start with this? Because you're the guest. What are your opinions on what you've seen so far with the build and everything?
I mean, the first thing I would say is I think the Alton Towers are knocking it out of the park from a marketing point of view. Like they are, I mean, they could just have shut the area off and then just abandoned it for 12 months, done the work, and then went, ta-da, here's a new ride. And they've not done that, right? I mean, they're putting out these teaser videos, the one where the Phalanx were finding all the new track, and that's when they obviously first showed it to us. And then, it was on the trucks getting taken to the park, and and then they've basically put it in super fast. Like they're building the hype up, even though it's not going to open until next year. But there's a lot of people that I've seen are kind of upset about, oh no, you can't change the color of Nemesis. It's part of the ride. I personally think this looks sick, not Flamingo Land sick, but I think it looks really good. And I'm kind of keen to see what it looks like with the complete package. Thing is, if they're teasing this already, this clearly isn't the main part of it, right? So whatever they're going to do with, the station or the potential pre-show or the theme, the soundtrack, there's clearly still loads to come.
I think the only thing I can think of is, yes, the ride, it's based obviously around the ride Nemesis itself, but I'm thinking of the merch here. Like, you've got black and yellow for Smiler, you've got black and green for 13. You're going to have definitely red and black on the merchandise for Nemesis anyway.
You already have that anyway.
But obviously, it matches a lot more now, because obviously the original track was like not bright white, but a white colour. And now that the track's matching with it, it just, for me, it just flows in terms of like merchandising. So to relate with the ride.
Curious. I see what Thrillwave just said there as well about keeping it looking nice, and that I've seen a few people wondering that as well, like because it looks like that's painted on, and it's like how well is that going to last?
Like it might just be a transfer. To be fair, it might just be a really good detailed transfer.
Potentially, but then they're going to kind of pressure wash it every year so it stays looking fresh.
I think that photo, from what I've heard, I know Dan from Ginger Brown said the photos that you see online don't do it justice because I think he went to see the track today, if I'm not mistaken. Right. But this is the only photo I can see where you can see more of the shading on the red.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to look better when you see it in person to all the other far away photos where it just looks really gimmicky in the other photos.
Do you think they might be hiding some, like, it sounds a bit, I'm probably speculating here, but like UV painting or something a bit as well?
Maybe, yeah.
There might be some UV lighting on the veins there? Or am I just making that up, maybe? Because you can easily hide some there with the amount of different sort of layers.
Yeah, and then just put some lights around the track. Yeah, that'd be an interesting idea.
I can see that as a good design idea.
What are your opinions on Subterra? Did you ride it before?
No, I never got on it before, so I'm kind of keen to see, like, because I've never done it, I would like to see the original version of it. I know some people are like, oh, if they bring it back and it's exactly the same, it'll be...
I think it will have to be exactly the same almost. Just change the story. I can't see them bringing it back and changing it a lot.
No, and it looks like obviously the pre-show has been seen running, and from what people are saying, it's exactly the same pre-show that it had before, right? So...
It was more like it was like a pseudo safety video though, so you can't you can change it without changing the pre-show almost.
That's true.
The pre-show was just a video saying this is where you're going down a lift. Make sure you do this at all times and stuff. It wasn't an actual story.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention Rands has put. I didn't even think about this. What the train's going to look like? Is it going to be something special?
Well, you saw they dismantled all the kind of covers off the old trains and broke them up. So they're obviously going to do something. And I know there's some people wondering, will it come back with the same train design or is it the new vest restraints? Although I think somebody worked out the newer vest trains wouldn't fit clearance-wise, so it's probably going to be the same style of trains again. But yeah, I think if they're showing this already, I think they've still got loads that they're not going to show us.
I agree with Knox and Rands and everyone that likes it. It's going to look amazing in the dark, if I'm quite honest, because obviously it's black.
I'm gonna like
You're going to notice the red veins.
I'm going to like it, but I'm going to say
it's going to be.
I don't know if anyone in the chat was with me where like the first year we had Wickerman. I said I can't wait for a few years' time when something else big comes along and Wickerman isn't the new ride anymore, and I can get on that without having a massive queue. So while I'm going to like Nemesis, I'm going to go and see it and ride it. I'm going to love the fact that's going to take everyone out of the Wickerman queue. So for me, I'm just be like, yes, lap Wickerman. And I said that when Wickerman opened the whole first season. I was saying, I can't wait till this isn't new anymore and people have got bored of it, and then I can just ride it loads without having to queue for it. I'm just talking about that when this is.
I really want to get to Alton Towers on a quiet day, actually, because the only time I ever go with the kids is either weekends or school holidays. So, like, I'm lucky to get on 5 or 6 rides in a day. And I keep seeing people online are like, oh, yeah, I did like 25 rides today, because it was somebody yesterday posted they were on Runaway Mine Train. It went around 4 times. It was that quiet. You're like, yeah, okay. I've never been in the park when it's day.
Have you managed to avoid the spoilers for Curse? Or have you been on it?
I've been on it. I went on it on the second day.
What did you think about the Curse?
I really liked it, although because it was still that opening weekend, I only got on it once. And I think from everyone that I've seen, like, you really need to go on it a good half dozen to a dozen times to fully appreciate it. It did feel like loads of people have complained about the kind of dark spots, and it sounds like that's by design. They're supposed to be like,
that's what I thought. Yeah,
some people think it's like a hide and seek kind of thing, but it did feel kind of like, oh, you've not finished this part of the ride. It's like, it was weird. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Is it still going to roar? Do you think Nemesis is still going to? I thought the whole part of the point of this was to stop the noise.
They're going to put sand in it to reduce the noise, but then there's other B&Ms with sand in them that still make a noise. It's just not as loud. So,
do you think they might do a roar like a bit like Wickerman, where they go through?
On speaker.
Yeah, and then like you hear the roaring of the flames, don't you? As the coach goes through Wicker Man, you hear that little roar. Well, not little roar, but sort of thing, and then the flames go up.
That's a bit like a Tesla playing a car engine, just for the sake of it. You know, it's like.
Sorry, I was like, but yeah, except for that with Trump. But either way, it's like when it goes through, like, just come out of.
You're reminding me of the kind of.
Will it make a noise?
The noise. You're making me think of the noise like
after you or something.
I think Taron does it as well, but Helix makes a certain noise in the accelerator, and when you did that noise, it reminded me of that noise. I want to know what is Rand's record of Trials and Nemesis in a day. I want Rand to tell me that. Tell me what your record is. I was going to ask about. What was I going to ask about? I don't know if you're going to be the same, Chris, but do you think there's going to be people that ride it, and there's a chance it's not the same for them? Like it's either it's too smooth or the noise is different, and they're not really going to love it as much as they used to.
Yeah, that's almost certainly going to happen, right? But that will be the enthusiasts. That's not going to be the general public. They're probably not even going to notice. I mean, they'll be like, "Oh, cool, it's had a paint job." They won't even know it's been replaced. You know, it'll be us enthusiasts that are like, "Oh, it's not the same." Back in my day, you know. But I'm looking forward to it.
Do you remember the blackcurrant and licorice drink that Coca-Cola made for them?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's probably someone's got an empty can on eBay probably. Oh, but they had the Nemesis logo on, and I'd so love to try that though.
So Rand's Adventure says mine in 29, but the record is 67. Whoa.
Has anyone actually substantiated that or corroborated that? Because I see people do vlogs and they go, "This is my such and such ride and my such and such ride." I'm like, we're just taking that at face value that you've done it this many times in a day on a vlog, sort of thing.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those videos as well. Yeah.
So most I've ridden it 7 times Nemesis, and that was because we had extra ride time in the morning to go round. So we just kept going round and running around me and Theme Park James.
29 is not a bad shout though. I couldn't do 29.
No,
like, I don't think I'd get on it 29 times. Rand's going to buy all the
very
merch.
lucky, Rand.
It's worth looking at the website for merch because I know someone said to me once, I don't know if they still do them, but when they did socks in the shop last year, and Richard Smiler Jones said you can get 2 pairs for £7 on Alton Tower's website, so it's better buying it from there than Towers Trading.
See, I didn't think they did online merch because that's one thing.
They do a little bit. It's quite selective. It's not like everything you see in the shop.
Because because Blackpool stuff, I've got plenty when I'm there, but I've done a lot online as well. And I've looked on Alton Towers and I was like, "Where's all the merch? I'm missing a trick." Extra money.
Just 1 second.
Just because you mentioned Mandrill Mayhem, have you seen the new Wing Rider at is it Legoland, Germany?
I've seen the train design for it, which looked awesome.
It looks impressive how it just hugs the ground a lot for most of the duration.
Yeah. Well, speaking of wing coasters, actually, I'm going to where am I going? I'm going to Portaventura in August, and I'm curious to get on Furious Backhoe because I've heard lots of mixed reports about that being either rough as hell or insane. So curious what it's going to be like.
Oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to. No, there was something I'm going to mention at the end of the show, which is to do with like a charity event as well. So I was just going to mention it, but I'll mention it later on. So
well, if we wind down now, is there any more stuff you want to mention or plug, Chris? If we start to.
Of course, we've got loads more comments that I'm trying to keep up with as well. So apologies, guys. So I'm a little bit like, oh, what do I say?
No, I think I'm just the thing I find really bizarre is I've been doing this for 3 months, and I think I've got like 300 subs, and the first video I did had like 13,000 views, which to me is just bonkers.
Oh,
but,
wow.
It's just like I'm just doing what I enjoy, and if people enjoy watching it, then happy days.
Are you allowed to
enjoy it?
Hint at what's your next vlog? Where's it going to be, or your next video?
The next confirmed one is Portaventura, but that's not till August. So I'm trying to figure out if I can get over to Poland in the meantime to do Energylandia. Decent number of credits out there, but nothing else is confirmed yet. And I'll probably wait until Valhalla's actually open before I go down there again.
I don't think, replying to Rand, I don't think they can sell Phalanx merch in case I think it might borderline on getting mixed up with staff. So I thought the same thing when I saw Phalanx in those Nemesis pictures.
Yeah.
But, is there something you want to mention? You look really giddy.
No, I'm just quite excited because I somehow managed to come across Hush Hush Family's obviously vlogs, and then as I've looked at the vlogs, I've then looked at the comments, and as I commented, I then noticed another channel, and he's only just started out. He's only a little youngling, bless him, but he's on about doing a charity event to smile basically all day just for cancer research, and his name's Theo's Theme Parks on his channel. I've already donated some money towards it already, so he's on about smiling for a whole day basically when he goes to Alton Towers at the end of May. So if you want to donate to charity for cancer research, then donate away.
Just make sure it doesn't ride Rita.
It's
It should be
literally on
fine.
there. So it's Theo's Theme Parks. Just go to his channel. It'll have the GoFundMe link, and you can donate to charity that way as well. So I just thought I'd mention it and plug it in.
Did you want to
All for a good
mention
cause.
what day of the week it is next Thursday? What day of the week is it? Or what not? What day of the month is it?
Day of the month. Go on,
It's
you
gonna
say
fit
it.
in. It's May the 4th. So and next that's fitted in quite well because just by chance, Rand's side of the charity as well. Just by chance, we have timed it right. Next week, if some of you have seen the vlog, we went to that 80s video shop. Someone had recreated a rental 80s video shop with VHS tapes, and it was amazing. And Rob's coming on next week. I don't know if Chris is as well. And we can also talk about Star Wars, which happens to coincide well. But if anyone wants to ask them stuff about that video store, they'll be on next week.
Oh, there's the logo.
Oh, you're actually wearing it as well.
Straight to video.
Straight to video. Although on Facebook they're called 80s Video Shop.
80s video
Straight
shop.
to
There you
video.
go.
And we're going to be giving away some of their merch
Get the
soon.
shot off my tea.
We're going to be giving away some of their merch. I don't know if I can tell you how to enter that now because it's not going to matter really. Between anyone watching now, and I'll put it on our socials as well, between now and the next quarterfinal we do on Attractions Ultimatum, I've got a few things set aside from our trip to Straight to Video, and to win them, I'll put the bracket up actually. I've got the bracket here. Obviously, Ultimate and Loggers Leap have gone, but out of all the rides that are left, to enter, you've just got to get it to our Instagram, I'd say. Message our Instagram.
Love number 2.
WO Explore. And tell us which, I'm only going to let you enter once, which one of the rides that are left is going to win the whole thing. Then when it's done, everyone who gave me the right answer is going to be put into a random thing, and we'll do a live video to make sure it's legit picked out. But I don't think I can let anyone on the panel enter, obviously, because we vote on those rides.
I was going to say, I'll probably talk more about it as well, about see if I can do get people to vote as well on my polls on my stories.
But have you got any idea who you think's going to win that, by the way, or you not thought about
I just noticed that the Wild Mouse is on there from Black.
Yeah, Wild Mouse had to be on there.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff.
Wild Mouse, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. It was quite. If you haven't seen either of the first 2 episodes, I've put the series playlist in the description. So
Yeah, so everyone's still quite welcome to replay everything that we've got on our channel.
and go
as well.
to Chris's Coaster Dad. I've put his clickable links in the description. His links are on screen, but in the description you've got clickable links.
Point that
And
way.
I put links for the people that did the jokes as well. So we'll be back, and we might do a live on Sunday because it's halfway to Halloween and we've got some Halloween stuff. So that's probably gonna happen.
I'm quite excited though about the people that we've got coming up.
And I appreciate everyone coming on. And Bloom and Cheeser, I love that guy. I watch his stuff. He's in America. I always moan that they're on at like 10 p.m. at night, but I can't believe he's watching one of my videos. Oh, that's awesome.
Appreciate you joining us.
He's awesome. He collects pin badges and stuff. That's cool. But Knox, I'll take that as your answer, Knox.
Oh,
yeah, but what are you going to say?
Coasting with the Joneses. We like your jokes.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on. Obviously, I'll just plug that if you want to enter, that's how to enter, and just message our Instagram. I'm only going to take your first answer. But is there anything else you want to say, Chris? I've enjoyed it. It's gone too quick. I had too much stuff planned again.
It has absolutely nothing. I just really appreciate it. Thanks very much for the invite.
That's good, and I've got your name down again for when I do series 2 of Roller Coaster Rivals. I know you'll probably want to be on that.
Nice.
Oh, and Rand, thanks for that, Rands. And also, I want to say Rand's got a live tomorrow at 6:30 where he's going to be talking about his love of Nemesis. He claims he's the biggest Nemesis fan, so Get over there and tell him if you're a bigger Nemesis fan.
He's already said he's going to get all the new merch. Just on here, he's already commented about it.
Oh, this is the moment of truth. I mean, we thought the moment of truth had already gone, but do you know what a catchphrase is?
Yeah, I do. Because the picture you put up looked like it was a cross between my road trip and your catchphrase. I'll see you in the rear view because for now we're gone.
Yay!